My child, do not scroll away. I know it is late. I see you staring at the quiet ceiling. I hear the heavy sigh leaving your chest. I hear the invisible clock ticking loudly in your mind. It is ticking so relentlessly tonight. Every second feels like a heavy hammer striking against your peace. It is telling you that you are running out of time. It is whispering cruel lies that it is too late for you to begin again. It is telling you that your best days are entirely behind you. I brought you here for a very specific reason tonight. This moment is not a random coincidence. This is a divine appointment that I set for you before you were even born. You are here listening to this because your heart is unbearably heavy. You are here because the anxiety about your age is keeping you awake. You look at the darkness in your room and you feel so incredibly small. You feel afraid of the days to come. You feel like the precious days are slipping through your fingers like water in a river. You feel like the years are vanishing into thin air, leaving you empty-handed. Do not turn away from my voice. I am speaking directly to your weary spirit right now. I see the sheer panic hiding behind your tired eyes. I feel the enormous weight pressing down on your lungs, making it hard to breathe. You are wondering if I have forgotten about you completely. You are wondering if your designated time for happiness has permanently passed. Listen to me very carefully. I am here to stop that ticking clock of the world. If you stay with me for these next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I will rewrite your timeline tonight. The night is so quiet, but your mind is a raging and chaotic storm. You try to close your eyes and sleep, but the frantic thoughts keep rushing in. You constantly count the years that have passed you by. You count the birthdays that have come and gone without the changes you prayed for. Every increasing number feels like a massive stone resting on your chest. You are terrified of the future. You are absolutely terrified that you have missed your one chance at a beautiful life. Do not leave this moment of healing. Sit quietly with me. Let my holy presence fill the quiet and dark corners of your room. Let my comforting voice drown out the loud voice of your internal fear. You have been running a frantic race in your mind for so long. Tonight is the night you finally stop running and rest. I see how you watch others passing you by on their journeys. I see you looking at the lives of the people around you and comparing your steps to theirs. They are reaching monumental milestones that you only dream of holding in your hands. They are finding love and building beautiful families. They are securing their careers and finding great financial success. They are buying homes and settling into comfortable and stable lives. You see them moving forward with such ease while you feel permanently stuck in one single place. You smile for them on the outside, but deep inside your spirit, you are breaking into tiny pieces. You celebrate their victories while you silently weep for your own stagnant life. I see the quiet and desperate tears when you look in the mirror. You look at your reflection and you search for the youth that you feel is rapidly fading away. You feel a deep and overwhelming sense of personal loss. You feel like your golden years have slipped through your fingers while you were just busy trying to survive. You feel like you are running a marathon where everyone else received a massive head start. You wonder what you did wrong to deserve this painful delay. You ask yourself why your path is so filled with seemingly impossible obstacles. You ask yourself why everything takes so much longer for you to achieve compared to others. You wake up in the middle of the night with a racing heart and cold hands. You look at the calendar and every passing month feels like a direct threat to your future. You worry that you will end up completely alone in this vast world. You worry that you will never build the life of security you desperately crave. You notice the changes in yourself and you panic. You feel your energy shifting and you think your season of opportunity has closed. You have watched doors shut right in front of your face. You have seen incredible opportunities given to people younger than you. You have seen blessings given to people with less experience than you. And you sat there in the silence wondering if your time has permanently expired. My beloved child, I know exactly how exhausted your beautiful mind is right now. I see the thick armor of emotional numbness you wear every single day just to function. You pretend everything is absolutely fine so no one asks you difficult or painful questions. You carry this invisible burden in complete and utter silence. You work so hard and you try with all your might to move forward. But the desired results always seem so impossibly far away from your reach. The beautiful and vibrant dreams you had when you were younger now feel like distant and impossible memories. The grand goals you set for yourself feel like mocking reminders of your perceived failure. You feel the heavy and crushing pressure of society pushing you down to the ground. The world dictates a rigid timeline and tells you that you are falling terribly behind. The world tells you that if you do not have it all together by now, you are a complete failure. I see how much that cruel and systemic lie hurts your gentle heart. I see how it makes you feel entirely unworthy of true love and lasting success. I see how it steals your daily joy and replaces it with sheer, paralyzing panic. You lie in bed and you replay all your past mistakes on a continuous and unforgiving loop. You think about the choices you made and the alternate paths you decided to take. You torture yourself with endless thoughts of what could have been if you had just been smarter or faster. You think you have ruined your own life beyond any hope of repair. You think you have wasted the precious time I graciously gave you to live. I watch you sink into this dark and lonely despair. I watch you isolate yourself from friends and family because the shame is just too heavy to explain to them. You do not want to be a burden or a disappointment to anyone else around you, so you choose to suffer completely alone in the shadows of your room. You feel a deep and hollow ache in your soul that nothing on this earth seems to fix or satisfy. You try to distract yourself during the busy and loud hours of the day. But when the night comes, the silence is deafening and the shadows of doubt grow incredibly long. The fears creep in and paralyze your mind, making you feel utterly helpless and small. You are so incredibly tired of waiting for a breakthrough that feels like it will never arrive. You are so drained from hoping for a profound change that seems to ignore your address completely. Your soul is deeply and profoundly fatigued from the waiting. Your spirit feels bruised, battered, and entirely broken by the constant disappointment. I know every tiny detail of your quiet and hidden suffering. I know every single time you wanted to throw in the towel and just give up entirely. I know every time you looked up at the sky and asked me why this prolonged waiting is happening to you. I am here to tell you something very important tonight. Listen to my voice and let these words sink deep into your weary bones. It is absolutely okay to grieve the years you feel you have lost. It is okay to feel profound sadness for the dreams that have been severely delayed. I am not angry at your panic, and I am not upset by your fear. I am not disappointed in your moments of absolute despair and crying. Your creeping doubts do not push me away from you. Your intense frustration does not make me love you any less than I did yesterday. You are not weak for feeling this immense and crushing pressure. You are not lacking in faith because you feel terrified of the unknown future. You are just carrying a monumental weight that you were never designed to hold by yourself. I do not judge you for your falling tears tonight. I do not condemn you for being so tired of constantly having to be the strong one. You have had to be the brave one for far too long. You have had to carry this age anxiety and this fear of the future entirely on your own fragile shoulders. I see your deep anger about your situation, and I completely understand it. I see your agonizing confusion about my plan, and I do not turn my face away from you. Many people in this world might tell you to just have more faith and immediately stop your worrying. They might tell you that you should not feel sad if you truly trust in my grand design. But I know that the physical and emotional pain of waiting is a real and agonizing pain. I know that the feeling of falling permanently behind is a suffocating and terrifying feeling that grips your throat. I validate your sorrow today. Your feelings are intensely real and they matter deeply to my heart. You do not have to hide your bitter disappointment from me anymore. You do not have to pretend to be perfectly happy and full of faith when you are actually crumbling inside. I want your completely honest heart. I want your broken and shattered pieces exactly as they are right now. I want your messy, complicated, and entirely human emotions. You feel like your faith is slipping away because you are so incredibly weary of fighting the battle. But I tell you this truth tonight. Your weariness is not a sin against me. Your physical and mental exhaustion is not a sign of your lack of trust in my power. It is simply the natural result of fighting a fierce battle for so long without seeing the final victory manifest. I am sitting right here beside you in the chaotic mess of it all. I am holding you tightly while you cry those silent and painful tears. I am collecting every single tear that falls from your tired eyes tonight. None of your agonizing pain is ever wasted in my kingdom. None of your prolonged waiting goes unnoticed by the courts of heaven. I understand exactly why the ticking clock of the world terrifies you so much. I understand why you feel like you are standing on the edge of a cliff watching everyone else fly past you. But you are perfectly safe with me. You are completely and entirely safe in my loving and protective presence. You are allowed to feel completely broken tonight without any fear of my judgment. You are allowed to surrender the constant need to be brave and resilient all the time. Let down your heavy defensive walls. Take off the heavy armor of pretending that everything is perfectly fine. You are my precious child, and I love you exactly as you are in this very fragile and vulnerable moment. I love you in the middle of your deepest and darkest doubt. I love you in the center of your most paralyzing fear. I love you in the core of your overwhelming anxiety about your age and your future. You do not have to fix yourself before you can come to me. You do not have to figure out your entire timeline before I accept you into my loving arms. I accept you right now in the middle of your profound uncertainty. I accept the version of you that feels too old, too tired, and too late to start again. Because to me, you are none of those things. But I will not leave you in this dark place of fear and panic. I am about to reveal a sacred secret about the time you think you have forever lost. I am about to show you the grand illusion that the enemy has used to keep you bound in this panic. You measure your precious life by the cold clock of the world. You look at the calendar and you see a terrifying countdown to failure. But I want you to understand a profound and completely life-changing truth tonight. I am the majestic creator of time itself. I am completely outside of the restrictive boundaries of time and space. I am not bound by the hours, the days, or the years that you count so anxiously every single night. What you firmly believe is entirely too late, I call perfectly prepared. You thought I was completely ignoring your tearful prayers for all these years. You thought my prolonged silence was a clear sign of my divine abandonment. But I was actually busy working in the unseen realm protecting your future. The society you live in has constructed artificial and extremely cruel milestones. They demand that you must reach certain financial and relational goals by a specific age. They tell you that your ultimate worth is directly tied to how fast you achieve visible success. This is a heavy and crushing yoke that I never intended for you to carry. I never placed this frantic expectation upon your tired shoulders. I do not operate on the chaotic timeline of human expectations or societal norms. In my eternal kingdom, 1,000 years is just like a single passing day. And a single day is like 1,000 years of glorious work. When I delay a long-awaited blessing in your life, it is never a denial of your profound worth. A delay from my hand is not a harsh punishment for your past mistakes or your hidden flaws. My divine delay is a deeply necessary period of preparation for your beautiful soul. If I had given you the monumental blessing when you first demanded it, the sheer weight of it would have completely crushed you. You were not spiritually or emotionally strong enough to carry the immense responsibility of that answered prayer back then. You thought the closed doors were harsh and painful rejections from the world. You cried bitterly when those people walked away from you and those grand opportunities vanished into thin air. You felt the sting of betrayal and the deep ache of being left entirely behind by your peers. But it was not rejection at all, my child. It was my fierce and unrelenting protection keeping you safe from terrible harm. I firmly closed those specific doors because they led to a path of deep sorrow and ultimate destruction. I made you wait in the dark and quiet hallways so you could build the spiritual muscles required for your true destiny. Do not let the harsh ticking clock of a confused society dictate your inner peace for one more second. Your season of blooming is not determined by a paper calendar hanging on your wall. Your season is determined entirely by my sovereign, perfect, and loving will. You look at your physical age and you feel an overwhelming sense of secret shame. You feel like you are terribly behind everyone else in this exhausting race of life. But I am telling you tonight with absolute authority that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not running late for your own beautiful life. You are not arriving early to the wrong and desolate destination. You are walking precisely in my perfect and majestic rhythm of grace. The pieces of your complex life are not falling apart like you think they are. They are actually falling perfectly into place according to a grand design that your human eyes cannot yet fully comprehend. The years you thought you completely wasted were actually crucial years of deep root formation. A mighty and unshakable tree does not grow its strongest roots in the bright and comfortable sunlight. It grows them deep in the dark, hidden, and often lonely places of the cold soil. You have been buried in the dark soil for a very long time. You thought you were discarded and forgotten by the entire world. But you were actually planted by my own loving and intentional hands. You were planted in the quiet soil of waiting so you could eventually withstand the massive storms of your future success. I am totally reframing your hidden pain tonight. I am fundamentally changing the way you look at your long waiting season. It is not a season of cruel punishment or divine abandonment. It is a sacred season of preparation, pruning, and profound growth. Release the intense and suffocating pressure of the earthly clock from your tired mind right now. You did not find this specific message by a random accident tonight. The cold and unfeeling algorithms of this digital world did not bring you here to this exact place. My Holy Spirit gently guided your tired hand to click on this screen. I specifically orchestrated this exact moment in time for you to hear my comforting voice in the darkness. I aligned the complex events of the universe just so you could pause your scrolling and listen to my words tonight. Your exhausted heart is finally ready to let go of the rigid and painful timeline you created for yourself. You tried so incredibly hard to control every single aspect of your destiny for so many years. You planned every step meticulously and you became deeply angry when the steps did not go your way. You held on to the steering wheel of your life until your knuckles turned completely white. But now you are exhausted enough to finally let me take the heavy wheel of your life. This precise moment in time is the beautiful and necessary moment of your complete surrender. I meticulously scheduled this divine appointment before the ancient foundations of the earth were even laid. I knew exactly where you would be sitting or lying down on this very night. I saw the soft glow of the screen illuminating your tear-stained face. I knew you would be lying awake feeling deeply defeated by the grand illusion of lost time. I knew the exact soothing words your battered spirit desperately needed to hear to find true peace. This is not a random coincidence, my beloved child. This is a divine interception of your dangerous downward spiral of severe anxiety. I am breaking into your nightly routine of silent worry to bring you a message of ultimate hope and restoration. You have been crying out in the silence for a clear and undeniable sign from heaven. You have been asking me if I still see you struggling so hard in the dark. This is your sign, and this is your undeniable proof that I am entirely with you. I am speaking directly into your current situation right now. I am meeting you right where you are, in the very middle of your deepest age anxiety. You do not have to search the horizon for me anymore. I have come directly to you in the absolute quietness of this late hour. Everything in your past has intentionally brought you to this profound moment of clarity and truth. The intense pain, the agonizing waiting, the firmly closed doors, and the silent tears have all led you here to my feet. You are in the exact right place at the exact right time. Do not doubt the perfect and flawless timing of this sacred encounter tonight. But I must give you a very serious and urgent warning before we go any further tonight. Listen to me closely, because understanding this is absolutely vital for your immediate future and your peace of mind. There is a very specific spiritual reason you feel this intense and suffocating panic in your chest lately. The enemy of your precious soul is deliberately using time as a cruel and relentless weapon against your mind. He knows that he absolutely cannot stop my ultimate and glorious plan for your life. He knows that your final victory is already permanently written in the archives of heaven. So he tries desperately to distract you with intense fear and overwhelming, crippling anxiety. He whispers dark and toxic lies in your ear, telling you that you are running entirely out of time. He wants you to firmly believe that the clock has expired on all of your beautiful dreams. He wants you to panic in the middle of the night when you are most vulnerable. He knows that when you panic, you make hasty and dangerous decisions out of deep fear rather than strong faith. He wants you to rush blindly into the wrong relationship just so you do not have to feel lonely for one more day. He wants you to accept the wrong path or the wrong job just so you can feel a false and temporary sense of security. He desperately wants you to settle for so much less than my absolute best and perfect will for you. He uses your physical age as a heavy iron chain to keep your spirit permanently imprisoned in a state of bitter regret. He points at the calendar and mercilessly mocks your apparent lack of visible progress. He uses the highlighted success of others on your screen to amplify your internal feelings of profound failure. Do not listen to his deceptive and toxic whispers in the dark for one more second. He is not warning you out of love or concern for your future. He is terrifying you because he is the one who is actually terrified of you. He is completely terrified of what happens when you finally step into the glorious season I have prepared for you. He is trying with all his dark might to derail your divine destiny right before the massive breakthrough finally happens. I am warning you about this spiritual warfare because I love you deeply and I want you to be fully prepared and heavily armed. The spiritual distraction is always the greatest and the loudest right before the monumental blessing physically arrives. The darkest and coldest part of the night is always right before the brilliant sun breaks over the horizon. You are standing right now on the very edge of a massive and beautiful shift in your life. The enemy clearly sees this approaching shift, and he is throwing every single ounce of fear at your tired mind. He wants you to give up the good fight right before the glorious dawn finally breaks through the heavy clouds. He wants you to abandon the long and painful journey right before you cross the victorious finish line. He wants you to look at your physical age, declare total defeat, and walk away from your promised land. He wants you to firmly believe that you are damaged goods and that your best and most vibrant years are completely wasted. But I am exposing his wicked lies to the blazing and undeniable light of my eternal truth tonight. Do not let his dark and calculated illusion of time steal your sacred and hard-earned peace anymore. Recognize his cruel tactics tonight and absolutely refuse to play his dangerous game of panic. When the frantic thoughts of running out of time flood your mind again, know instantly that it is a spiritual attack. It is a highly coordinated attack on your peace, your identity, and your divine future. Do not make any major life decisions while you are engulfed in this heavy cloud of fear and anxiety. Fear is a terrible and blind guide, and it will only lead you directly into the dry desert of compromise. I do not author mass confusion, and I do not push you forward with frantic, breathless anxiety. My leading is always accompanied by a deep, profound and steady peace that completely surpasses all human understanding. If you feel rushed, panicked, or completely desperate, you must know that is not my gentle voice guiding you. That is the desperate enemy trying to violently push you off the safe cliff of my perfect timing. Stand firm tonight and boldly recognize the intense spiritual tension you are currently feeling in your spirit. The unseen battle in your mind is fierce right now because the ultimate prize of your future is incredibly valuable. I am alerting you to this present danger so you can put your heavy spiritual armor back on right now, but you will not have to fight this exhausting and terrifying battle all by yourself. I am stepping in right now to completely shield you from these invisible flaming arrows of time anxiety. I am preparing to show you exactly how I will defend you against this relentless onslaught. I will reveal how my protection is going to change everything for you. I am stepping directly in front of you right now to completely shield your fragile mind from these invisible attacks. You do not have to fight this exhausting and terrifying mental battle all by yourself anymore. I am actively wrapping my holy and majestic presence around you like a heavy blanket of impenetrable peace tonight. Every single fiery arrow of time anxiety that the enemy shoots at you will break into pieces upon my massive shield. I am fiercely and intentionally blocking the toxic paths that you tried to walk down out of pure human desperation. You cried bitterly when those specific relationships suddenly failed and you thought you were completely unlovable. But I was actually removing the people who would have slowly drained the precious life out of your beautiful spirit. I firmly closed the doors on those specific jobs and opportunities because they would have kept you in permanent and miserable bondage. I am constantly protecting you from the silent disasters and the hidden tragedies that you cannot see with your human eyes. You genuinely thought the long waiting season was a cruel punishment, but it was actually a towering fortress of safety built by my own hands. I am standing boldly between you and the crushing weight of the unreasonable expectations of this cold world. The chaotic demands of society cannot harm you when you are securely hidden in the thick shadow of my mighty wings. The desperate enemy wants you to feel entirely exposed and terribly vulnerable to the rapid passing of time. He wants you to believe that you are walking a tightrope without a safety net underneath you. But you are securely and permanently held in the powerful palm of the one who created the blazing sun and the silver moon. I will absolutely not let you fall into the dangerous trap of rushing your own beautiful and divine destiny. I will absolutely not allow you to settle for a mediocre life that is far less than my absolute best for you. You must actively choose to partner with my supernatural protection tonight by completely releasing your gripping fear. You must verbally declare your total trust in my sovereign plan to completely shatter the dark illusion of the enemy. If you truly believe in my perfect timing and my fierce protection over your precious life, I want you to declare it with absolute and unwavering authority right now. Type "I trust your timeline, Lord" in the comments below to firmly break the heavy chains of panic. Let that public declaration be the final and decisive nail in the coffin of your exhausting age anxiety tonight. When you boldly declare your absolute trust in me, you completely disarm the invisible weapons of darkness. You instantly silence the loud and mocking voices that constantly tell you your vibrant life is entirely over. Because you have chosen to place your fragile trust in me in the very middle of your darkest night, I am about to release a monumental and earth-shattering promise over your entire life. Listen extremely closely to the powerful words I am speaking directly into your weary spirit right now. I am about to completely and miraculously restore the precious years that the locusts have eaten away. I have deeply observed the brutal seasons of drought where you felt like you produced absolutely no visible fruit at all. I have tenderly watched the long years of profound sorrow where you felt like your exhausting hard work was entirely in vain. You look back at the past decade of your life and you only see a vast and empty desert of lost opportunities and bitter failures. You truly think those precious and vibrant years are permanently gone and completely unrecoverable by any earthly means. You mourn for the energy you spent on the wrong people and the time you wasted in the wrong places. But you must remember that you serve the God of the impossible and the absolute master of total restoration. I am not merely going to give you back what was unfairly stolen from your tired hands. I am going to abundantly multiply the rich fruit of your future to aggressively compensate for your painful and barren past. What took other people 10 long and agonizing years to build with their own frail human strength, I will completely accomplish in your life in one single and breathtaking season of my overwhelming grace. This is not just a simple recovery of lost time or depleted physical resources. This is a sudden and divine acceleration of your entire majestic destiny. You will look around in absolute shock and awe at how rapidly your life transforms when my appointed time finally arrives. The heavy iron doors that were locked completely tight for so many years will suddenly swing wide open with absolutely zero resistance. The deep and meaningful connections you prayed for in the dark will manifest beautifully and naturally without any forced human effort. The profound and satisfying purpose you searched for so desperately will become as brilliantly clear as the bright morning sun. Do not ever look at your physical age as a permanent barrier to my miraculous and limitless power. I do not need you to be young to do something entirely unprecedented and historically magnificent in your life. I do not need you to have a perfect track record to use you for a glorious and world-changing purpose. I only need your completely willing heart and your total and unconditional surrender to my perfect timeline. Your massive and painful setback was truly nothing more than a highly strategic setup for a spectacular divine comeback. I am actively planting vibrant and beautiful seeds in the very soil of your darkest past failures. You honestly thought your personal story was rapidly approaching a sad, quiet, and disappointing ending, but I am just preparing the ink to write the most breathtaking and victorious chapter of your entire existence. The intense pain of your long waiting will be completely forgotten in the immense and overwhelming joy of your impending arrival. You will look back at this exact night and you will perfectly understand why the agonizing delay was entirely necessary for your soul. You will praise me loudly for the firmly closed doors that I actually saved you from a long lifetime of quiet misery. You will genuinely thank me for the lonely waiting room that prepared your internal character to handle the massive weight of upcoming glory. The miraculous restoration I am bringing to you is not just for your physical circumstances or your visible material success. It is a profound, deep, and cellular restoration of your lost joy, your shattered peace, and your very tired soul. I am completely restoring the bright and youthful spark to your tired eyes and the genuine smile to your heavy face. I am graciously giving you a brand new song of victory to sing after a very long and bitter season of total silence. But before you can fully step into this beautiful and abundant season of divine acceleration, we must firmly and intentionally rebuild the fragile foundation of how you actually view yourself. You have allowed this harsh and demanding society to aggressively strip away your true identity for far too long. You have let the loud ticking clock tell you that your ultimate worth is rapidly decreasing with every passing day. You have fully believed the toxic and poisonous lie that you are completely defined by the specific milestones you have not yet reached. You secretly label yourself as a massive failure because you are not married or because you do not have a prestigious career. You loudly call yourself terribly behind because your bank account does not match the unrealistic expectations of the blind world. I am completely tearing down those vicious and destructive labels tonight with the pure and cleansing fire of my perfect love. You are absolutely not defined by your physical age or the number of natural wrinkles on your beautiful face. You are absolutely not defined by the amount of money you make or the impressive academic titles you hold at work. You are absolutely not defined by your current relationship status or the terrible and regrettable mistakes of your messy past. You are my absolute and crowning masterpiece, and you are intricately crafted with intentional and breathtaking perfection. You are the precious apple of my eye, and you are completely loved with an everlasting and totally unconditional love. I am the great creator of the universe, and I boldly declare that your best and most vibrant chapters are still completely unwritten. When I look directly at you, I absolutely do not see a frantic person who is running out of precious time. I see a beautiful, resilient, and strong warrior who has bravely survived the heavy storms and is finally ready to brilliantly shine. You are specifically chosen by me, and you are directly called by my holy and majestic name. I have carefully placed a unique and magnificent calling deep inside your spirit that absolutely no one else on earth can fulfill. That divine calling does not have a cruel expiration date attached to it by the superficial standards of the world. Your specific divine purpose is entirely eternal, and it is firmly and permanently secured in the strong palm of my hand. You must immediately stop speaking dark curses over your own life by constantly calling yourself too old, too late, or too broken. You must intentionally align your daily words with my eternal truth and start speaking vibrant life into your own weary bones. You are completely worthy of true love, and you are entirely worthy of profound success exactly as you are right in this moment. You do not need to exhaust yourself trying to prove your intrinsic value to me or to anyone else on this entire spinning earth. Your supreme value was permanently and forever settled the exact moment I breathed my own holy life into your fragile lungs. I am completely restoring your true identity tonight so you can confidently walk with your head held incredibly high again. I am gently washing away the deep and crippling shame of your perceived delays and your hidden silent failures. You are finally stepping out of the dark and cold shadows of constant comparison and directly into the brilliant and warm light of your true self. But to fully and completely embrace this new and radiant identity without looking back at the past, there is one final and extremely important thing you must do for me before you fall asleep. You are carrying something entirely too heavy for your soul, and I desperately need you to drop it on the floor right now. I need you to prepare your tired heart for the ultimate and beautiful act of holy surrender tonight. I need you to completely let go of the illusion of control right now. You have been carrying the heavy burden of managing your own timeline for far too long. Your hands are bleeding from holding on to the rough ropes of your own expectations so tightly. Your mind is utterly exhausted from constantly calculating the passing days and the fading years. I am inviting you into a sacred and profoundly beautiful space of total surrender tonight. I want you to deliberately take off that heavy and suffocating armor of independence. You do not have to figure out the complex details of your tomorrow by yourself anymore. You do not have to frantically search for the open doors or force the broken pieces to fit together. I am asking you to gently hand over every single one of your deep fears about your age to me. Give me your bitter regrets about the past mistakes and the missed opportunities. Give me the overwhelming anxiety that grips your chest when you look at the calendar. Give me the crushing pressure you feel when you see the rapid success of everyone else around you. You are completely safe to be incredibly weak and vulnerable in my presence tonight. It is a beautiful privilege to be weak because my supernatural strength is made entirely perfect in your weakness. Stop counting your age and stop looking at the ticking clock on your wall. The numbers on your birth certificate absolutely do not dictate the glorious ending of your story. I am the author and the perfect finisher of your faith. I hold the majestic pen that writes your future, and I am not finished writing yet. I want you to physically take a deep breath right now and release the tension in your shoulders. Exhale the toxic worry that you are somehow falling terribly behind in the race of life. Inhale the pure and soothing peace of knowing that the creator of the universe is actively fighting for you. You can finally rest because the heavy lifting is no longer your responsibility to carry. I will carry you through the dark valleys, and I will carry you over the massive mountains. I will gently reset the chaotic timeline of your life tonight while you sleep. Before you close your heavy eyes to sleep tonight, I want you to make a sacred commitment to your own peace. Subscribe to this channel right now as a daily and physical reminder that you are no longer walking alone. Let this simple action be your personal declaration that you are choosing to walk hand in hand with me every single day. You are consciously choosing to trade your heavy anxiety for my perfect and unending peace. You have tried to be the strong and resilient anchor for everyone else in your life. You have always been the reliable one who smiles through the hidden pain and the silent tears. But tonight I am asking you to let me be your unbreakable anchor in the middle of this raging storm. Let me hold you tightly while the chaotic winds of time anxiety blow fiercely outside your window. You absolutely do not need to have all the complex answers right now. You only need to know the one who holds all the answers in the palm of his mighty hand. Release the desperate need to understand the painful reasons behind your long season of waiting. Trust that my majestic vision for your future is infinitely clearer and more beautiful than your own. As my profound peace begins to wash over your tired mind tonight, I want you to think about the others. You are not the only beautiful soul lying awake in the dark tonight, feeling crushed by the weight of time. There are so many of my precious children out there weeping silently into their pillows right now. They are absolutely terrified that it is entirely too late for them to find true love or pure happiness. They are drowning in their own bitter tears because they feel forgotten by the world and abandoned by me. They are trapped in the exact same dark prison of age anxiety that you just walked out of tonight. I am calling you to step into a completely new and beautiful purpose right in this very moment. I want you to be my compassionate messenger of hope to a very broken and fearful world. If you are thinking of a specific person who is drowning in their own storm of anxiety right now, do not keep this divine healing and this profound revelation entirely to yourself. Send this message to them so they know with absolute certainty that I have not forgotten them either. Share this sacred truth with them and be the miraculous answer to their desperate midnight prayer. Let them hear my comforting voice through your simple and powerful act of loving obedience. You have the beautiful power to help me break the heavy chains of fear off someone else tonight. My beautiful and beloved child, the long and exhausting battle in your mind is finally over for tonight. The harsh and cruel voices of the enemy have been completely silenced by my eternal truth. The imaginary clock of the world has been permanently shattered by my boundless grace. You have fully surrendered your heavy burdens, and you have placed your fragile trust in my perfect timing. There is absolutely nothing left for you to figure out or fix before the morning sun rises. You do not have to worry about the complex challenges of tomorrow because tomorrow is entirely in my hands. I have already walked into your future, and I have beautifully prepared the path ahead of you. I have already commanded my holy angels to fiercely guard your steps and protect your destiny. The massive doors that need to open will open effortlessly when the exact right moment arrives. The right people will walk naturally into your life without any forced struggle or desperate striving. The abundant blessings that I have stored up for you will flow freely like a mighty and endless river. All you have to do right now is embrace the beautiful gift of physical and spiritual rest. Stop counting the passing hours on the clock beside your bed. Stop reviewing the painful regrets of the days that are permanently gone. Close your weary and tearful eyes. Let the soothing warmth of my holy presence fill every single corner of your quiet room. Feel the gentle and comforting rhythm of my own heart beating in perfect sync with yours. Breathe in my love and breathe out your lingering fear. Rest now, my precious child. Sleep in deep and completely undisturbed peace, for I am already standing faithfully and powerfully in your beautiful tomorrow.